almost high tide, and I was like, bro, we might not make it back, hey? Like, to the campsite, we might not make it back. Because Rick's truck, it's not really a truck, and this is what we need to go through.
I keep boys by my side, CJ Ack, now I gotta roll with ice. Cody's brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ack, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, ride or die, ride or die, ride or die, ride or die.
Alright guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Intro just there as my mate Rick is on the phone to his kids. It's Father's Day in a couple of days, so massive shout out to Rick. Thanks for coming, mate. I appreciate it. I know you're a dad and it is Father's Day and you're out camping with me, but hey, it is what it is. All right guys, so we're off to Fraser Island for 4 days, 3 nights. We need to let our tires down here because most of the driving we're going to be doing is on pretty much soft sand. So we're going to let them down. I like to let mine down to around about 20 pounds. I normally run 32 pounds on the hard stuff. Some people run 18 pounds on the soft sand, but prefer to go for 20. So let's get stuck in and enjoy today's video.
Alrighty guys, so for those tyre connoisseurs out there, you'll be glad to know that I did decide to go to 37 pounds after this trip on the hard stuff, and it actually rides pretty nice to be fair, so I'm going to stick it around about 36, 37 on the tarmac, but we're on the sand now, so 20 pounds it is. Now, onto the barge, it's pretty hard here getting onto the barge, but the tide is in, but on its way out as we get off. So onto the barge, following the marshaller all the way up to the nose of the barge, nudge, nudge, nudge all the way in and across the water, and we're off the barge onto the sand. So you can see that it's a little bit soft here under tire. I was going to say underfoot then, but it's under tire, isn't it? And the tide is on its way out, but you can see that it does come all the way up to the kind of sand dune edge on the left-hand side there. And for obvious reasons, you don't want to drive on the sand dune, but if the tide is all the way in, you can't actually drive down this part of the beach and you need to use an inland track, which is pretty shitty. So I was really glad the tide was on its way out, and you can just see here how far the tide actually does come in, and it comes all the way in up to the tree line. So like I said, if the tide is in, then you need to use the inland track, because imagine like when you're stood on the beach and you stood at the water's edge and the wave comes in and the other wave goes back out and it sucks all your feet down into the sand. Imagine driving through that with a 2-ton or 2.5-ton vehicle. Your wheels just get sucked in to the sand, and a lot of people actually lose their cars because they try to drive around Hook Point when it's high tide. Complete idiots if you ask me.
This is it guys, this is the spot. Lovely, lovely camping spot for the next 2 nights, and then we're heading over to the other side of the island for our final night. You can see ocean behind me there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Lovely day. Come up here. Beautiful, mate. So I'll put you down, set up camp and get some lunch, I reckon, eh?
2 hours later.
Alrighty guys, so it was around about 10:30 by the time we finished setting up camp, and it was way too early to have lunch and a little bit too early to have beers, so we decided to head up to Ngala Rocks, which is this little rock canyon that you need to drive through if you want to go up any further than about 3/4 of the way north up the island. Even at low tide, you have to pass through here. I'm really glad we did actually, because we got to bump into the legends from 4-Wheel Drive 24/7. They're another YouTube channel. They're not as big as my channel and they're not as good, but you should still check them out anyway because they are pretty cool. I even bumped into the guy that built my FJ Cruiser and bought it new from Toyota, so that was really, really cool thing to happen. Turns out he's good mates with Shauno as well, and he told me that Shauno knows all about this FJ, and if I see him, I should stop him, say hi, and point it out. And I did, and I even got a fist bump, which I was really excited about. Anyways, here comes Graham in the big nasty V8 Nissan Patrol Y62, and you guys need to hear how this thing sings when he steps on it.
Alright guys, so It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon now. I don't have the microphone with me, so I'm just going to cup the speaker there, and hopefully it cuts out the beach. You can hear me. We just had to go into town, and Rick needed to make a phone call, phone his wife, because she's pregnant and she had some stuff on today. And it's almost high tide, and I was like, bro, we might not make it back, like to the campsite. We might not make it back, because Rick's truck, it's not really a truck, it's a bit of an SUV. There's no snorkel on it, and this is what we need to go through. These guys reckon that's deep. Because he's running 35-inch tires as well.
A few moments later.
Rick wanted to give it a crack. Cheers, brother! He did it. Happy days. I would have done it in the FJ. That's got a 4-inch lift and 35s with a snorkel. Good old Rick's done it. I'm just wading through. Happy days, mate. Go home, make some food. I say home. Off to the campsite, make some scran. See you guys up there. All right, so a little bit of excitement. Let me clean the... Very professional here on this YouTube channel. We do not earn anywhere near the same amount of money with YouTube as some of the big YouTubers. And I say we, but it's literally just me. But you guys already know that, don't you? Because you've been following me for a while. So this is the camp setup. Made a few little changes, condensed it, made it a little bit tighter and a little bit smaller. Let's have a quick look. Pretty happy with it. A little bit more condensed. The sun has gone down over the top there. And now it's time to cook dinner. So I've got the setup here. I'm not going to do like a full cook and show or anything like that. I'm just going to cook it, I'm going to eat it, and that is going to be the end of today. And I'm going to catch up with you guys in the morning. This isn't a cook and show, this is a car show, lifestyle show, kind of 4-wheel drive show. I'm not going to be doing like a how to make chicken fajitas and all that kind of stuff here. You guys know how to do that. But yeah, dinner time and beer for us, guys. We'll catch back with you in the morning.
All right, so I know I said I wasn't going to show you the cook up, but it was just way too good. So anyways, we made chicken fajitas, and I thought I was making heaps so we could have leftovers, but turns out we scoffed the whole lot in one night.
Morning, guys. What is going on? Welcome to day 2 on Fraser Island. The sun is up. There she is, all bright and in the glory, and I'm trying to figure out where is the best place to put the camera so you guys can see me okay. I reckon, and I'll probably be very wrong, but I reckon somewhere about here is probably going to be really good. Now, a little bit of a development. Yesterday afternoon, some shit went down, and we're going to have to leave the island a little bit earlier than we planned. Rick needs to get home and take care of some stuff, so it looks like we're going to be leaving about lunchtime today. So we're going to finish breakfast, finish our coffees, head off south down the island, do a spot of fishing around Eli Creek, the Mahino Wreck sort of area. If you haven't seen the Mahino Wreck, I've posted it in another video. It's up in the top corner now, you can check that out. But yeah, whilst I did get a tiny little bit of phone signal, I did get a message from someone saying, want to see pictures of your camp setup once it's all set up. So here's one better, mate. Here's a video. So I got the 2 swags here. They're both double swags. Rick reckons he fits his wife and his 2 kids in his swag. The FJ there with the 270 awning all out. And then Rick's got a 2.5 meter straight out awning there. And we come round, it'll be easier to walk around this side of the vehicle. So we come round here, got the tent pole out, and I just made sure that the awning is attached to the car this side because it folds out this way. The cooking area. So I'm literally about to eat the oats that we've just cooked. There's a little bit of water in there and I'll wash that out in a bit. Butane stove, all this drawer, like I said, comes out. The fridge is there, it's pretty cool. And then everything in the back of a good pack up and everything. Before we get going, got the 12 volt going there just to charge Rick's phone for him. And I did have the inverter on to charge the GoPro so I could get this video for you. But yeah, that's our camp setup. It's pretty basic.
All right, so we're heading south down the island now. We were going to stop for a fish, but we decided just to head as far south as we could in one go before we stop at Eli Creek and then have a little walk up Eli Creek. Now, Eli Creek's a fresh water creek, and I'll go over that creek in a little bit when we actually get there, but it's a really cool place to stop and have a walk through if you ever come to Fraser Island.
Yeah, so like I said, it's fresh water, but you wouldn't drink it because people float down it. They bring their floaties and then they go all the way up the end where we're going, and then they just float down, kind of like a lazy river at a water park. And I don't think they do floaties in their floaties, but they might pee, so you don't really want to drink it, but it's nice and refreshing anyway. Well, not the pee part. Looks deep up here, fellas. I'm taller than Rick though, so we're all good. You just got to remember to take your phone and your keys out of your pocket when you walk along. Just look at how clear the water is, and I'm up to my knees here and I'm 6 foot. It's mad. So I did a video on Fraser Island, the history of the island, or Gari as people want to call it nowadays. I don't really give a shit. I did a video on it and how stuff like this grows on the island. So if you haven't seen it, click the link above and that'll take you to my last video on Fraser where I go over the algae that's in the sand and how that is part of the ecosystem here on the island, and that enables things to grow because this island is completely sand, and normally, you know, you guys know, like trees and grass and stuff like that doesn't really grow in sand, but thankfully because of the algae it can. All right, brother, you good to go?
Let's go.
Sweet on, man. You want me to lead or?
I'll lead. All good.
Woo! First time on the island, leading us all. Let's go. All right, so that was Eli Creek. The beach is like a highway here in Australia. 80 k's an hour speed limit as well on some bits. It's 40 k's an hour on this bit. 80 k's an hour on some bits. That's 50 miles an hour for you guys in the US and the UK. So yeah, look, some stuff went down at Rick's place and he's got to go home. I'm obviously not gonna, you know, go into any details about what has happened. That's private. I could stay another couple of nights, but I've decided that I'll head on home. My wife has just been given weekends off, and I say that, but she works for herself, so my wife has just given herself weekends off, and that happened last weekend. So this is her first, or this is her second weekend off. So I'm gonna head home and maybe catch up with her, see what she's up to, head to the beach, and cook some steaks on the beach, like I plan to do here on the video. But guys, look, that's life. You know, I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I just do this as a bit of a hobby, just for fun, just to talk to you guys and, you know, have a bit of a laugh and God knows what else. I'm sure you can tell that because my camera equipment is nowhere near as sophisticated as other people's. But guys, I really appreciate you being here, supporting me on the channel. I know that these four-wheel drive videos don't get anywhere near as many views as the road vehicles do, especially the Escort. But I'm hoping that these videos do get more views because I really enjoy doing them, and it's an absolutely fantastic place in the world. And I know a lot of you guys over in the UK may never get to see something like this, and my biggest audience is from the UK because of obviously the Series 2 Escort RS Turbo that I'm rebuilding. Well, guys, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for being here, subscribing, liking, commenting, watching, all the kind of good stuff that I know you guys and girls do. And I'll catch up with you in the next episode.